What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Eastside Flock. I'm Eric G, and today I got on my Ravens robe. I got my gloves on, my Grim Reaper gloves, and my sunglasses on because this team looks comfortable and it looks like we're going to take the division from the grips of death from the Steelers. Not actually, that's a crazy overreaction, but this team do finally look comfortable. Something that we haven't seen in a while. This team has looked scared. It's looked kind of all over the place. They looked comfortable today versus the Lions. Now, let me say this. It was sloppy. It was a sloppy win, but the locker room looked comfortable. They felt like they were able to handle the sloppiness and come out with a win, something we hadn't been able to do. So let's look at the stats of this game. Let's kind of dissect some things. The first thing I want to talk about is this huge number right here. Penalties. The Ravens only had 5 penalties this game. 5 penalties. I feel like we finally didn't beat ourselves. There was a couple of drives early on. There was a false start, but I think it was Gardner, however the fuck you say his name. I believe he had a false start, and it did kill one of our drives. But I feel like for the most part, the offense didn't shoot themselves in the foot 85 million times. We got stopped by a really fantastic defensive line. And we knew that they were going to be good. We knew that they were going to come in and probably kill our run game. We knew that was probably going to be a thing. But we still were able to get it going. 152 rushing yards. Great to see. Love that number. I think that low penalties and good rushing numbers is huge. Now, we did have some stupid penalties. Roquan did not need to hit that guy. He really did not need to. And he made up for it with a pick. But obviously it wasn't a pick. And it did lead to a score. So I think that, there was a couple small things, but it didn't cost us the game. It didn't feel like our penalties were hurting us, shooting ourselves in the foot, beating ourselves like we normally do. I think that obviously came from the Vikings. We got a little bit of help today. Like, not gonna lie to you, 13 penalties is crazy. 8 of them being false starts in your home stadium is just ridiculous. Like, a wild thing. But we pretty much played Ravens football. They had a higher average of yards per play, but the defense getting 3 turnovers was huge for us again. I said that they couldn't sustain that, and yet they came back and had a good game. Maybe they're going to prove me wrong. I still think versus the better teams, we aren't going to be able to do that. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to consistently get turnovers like that. But I think we could get maybe 1 or 2, maybe even just a turnover can swing the game, obviously. So I think that that's good to see that we're getting turnovers against the teams that should be turning the ball over. JJ McCarthy is not that great out of the first quarter. I think we finally dominated time of possession. We had more first downs. They had more total yards than us, more passing yards, only 169. And when you look at the box score, Lamar really just had kind of an okay game. He didn't really play well. And yet we were still able to get the win. I think that this is a huge thing that we hadn't really seen. Like a 92 QBR and we still got the win. Like that's crazy. You look at Patrick Ricard having a rush, which was crazy. Lamar ran the ball a little bit more. Keith Mitchell had a fantastic day. Henry having 75, averaging 3. I think that we did have a lot of drops. I will say Bateman had a bad drop. Zay Flowers had a bad drop on that screen. That could have gone for a touchdown on the first play. Andrews had a bad drop. Likely had a bad drop. Like, the team offensively really struggled, but defensively they seem to say, hey, all right, look, our offense is not having the best game and we need to pick up the slack. And we finally saw that vice versa. Like, we had been seeing, the defense struggling and the offense being like, all right, we're going to score points and getting into shootouts in previous games, even like last season. I think this season we did it a little differently. I felt like, or at least this game, we did it very differently. I felt like the defense saw, hey, Lamar's not having a fantastic game. He's got to, he's having trouble with this defense. The defense is really good. How do we stay in this as a team and collectively go get the win? And I think the Ravens did that today. Looking on the other side of the ball, I think when you look at the Vikings, I mean, it's crazy that McCarthy had 248 passing yards. I mean, they were able to get the ball downfield a little bit. But I just think that we held the big thing was we held Jay Jettis, man. Like this is insane. 4 receptions for only 37 yards. He being able to kind of take away somebody. We finally did that. I feel like we did that against the Rams, but obviously we weren't able to get the win. But yeah, you look at these defensive, you look at the defense, you got Jalen Ramon fucking absolutely just getting involved in almost every play. I feel like Jonathan Allen was also just involved in everything. I felt like I heard Isaiah Rodgers' name a bunch. These guys really just they came through and were able to kind of make big plays defensively. But I think we fought through adversity today. I think that that's a good thing, and I think this team looks comfortable. The locker room was feeling it. Guys were getting into it, going crazy, and I think that you know there is a lot to look forward to, but there's so much to fix. So I know I did that big intro, but realistically, you have to bring it every single game, and that is very hard for a team to do. I've been harping on that. I don't I don't know if the Ravens can do this run that everybody thinks they're gonna go on, but they finally look comfortable. And as a fan, I just want a watchable game, man. Like real talk, I just want a watchable game. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hopefully, we will see you in the next one. Have a blessed day. Peace.